Hello everyone, welcome to Low Desert Love. It's garden planting time. Let's get these guys in the ground. Okay guys, the first thing we're going to plant is my what is this? The first thing we're going to plant is my Brad's Atomic Grape Tomato plant. As you can see, this is the one. I left 3 in here. So we're going to have to separate them first. I'm going to show you how to do that. Tomatoes are resilient. When you take them out, turn them upside down, give them a little push on the bottom here. Even if you have roots sticking out the bottom, most of the roots will still come through. I promise they're not as tangled as they look. Now, how am I going to separate this out? I've got my pitcher of water here. Now I could just roll it around in my hands, let some of the soil naturally fall off. If you're using a good potting mix, the soil should be loose. This shouldn't be hard to do. Now, there are 3, these are pretty big. I am going to have to employ the water here. So I'm going to I've gotten a fair amount of the dirt off. Okay, I'm going to take them and I'm going to start dunking them here in this pitcher. Dunk, dunk, dunk. And the soil's going to start coming off to the point where I can easily start separating the roots from each other. See? Now, you do want to be gentle. Anytime you disturb roots on a plant, the plants can get a little testy, a little angry. We are only planting one of these bad boys today. So I'm taking the biggest one out of the 3, and he's going to be the one we plant. I'm going to lay him down. The other 2, I'm going to stick back in the cup for a second. I will repot them with new dirt in their own cups so they don't get so root bound. And we'll probably put those in pots or give them to a friend. They're rare seeds, so maybe someone else will want to grow them too. All right, let's dig the hole. All right, this is where this bad boy is going to go. We're just going to dig a hole. Now this bed is a little over 6 inches deep before I hit hard Arizona ground. Like you can, that would be the ground in there, the clay soil. So when you plant tomatoes, especially transplants that you've started inside, I don't know if you can see this, if the camera is going to focus or not, which it appears not to. Tomatoes are fuzzy. Their stalks are fuzzy. Their stems are fuzzy. They've got these little hairs that grow all the way up, and that's because they will take root all along their stem. So to promote a good root system, when we plant this little tomato, I'm going to take this seed, I'm going to take this little leaf off, and I'm going to take this little leaf off, and I'm going to plant it as high up as I can go. Probably up to, yep, right about there. So it can root all along its stem and have an amazing root system to support amazing fruit growth. I like to pour a little water in first, make sure the stuff at the bottom is nice and hydrated. Lay this guy in. I'm doing this one-handed here. Okay. Get that out of there. Now, as you can see, I planted him all the way up to these top leaves. Okay? He is going to root all down his stem. And he is going to be a fabulously healthy plant. Now, I could take this this leaf off. He is touching soil. There is concern, you know, when leaves touch soil, that is how diseases can get transferred. That is how bugs get easy access to your plants. So I think I'm going to snip this guy off too. Now he's got plenty of leaves left here to photosynthesize and suck up sunlight, so don't worry about that. We're going to give him another water. Now usually I would use my hose for this, but since I have the water pitcher here, I'm going to use the water pitcher. It's going to be warm today. It's going to be in the 80s. So once I get everybody planted, I'll hit them again with the garden sprayer, make sure they've got their water for the day. And that is how you plant a tomato start. Okay, now I want to show you. See this guy? This is one of my ground cherries. Big, beautiful, happy, healthy, putting off little adorable, pretty flowers, which means it's healthy, and that's a good thing. But we got to transplant it. Now you see all the roots coming out the bottom here. Now, when you take this out of this cup, we're going to save these roots. We don't want to break them. We want them to stay intact. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to dip this in a little bit of water. To loosen up the roots. Just gently encouraging them to let go, to be free. Now you see this? Completely free. Completely untangled. Water's your friend. Dunk it, dip it as many times as you need to. The roots don't want to be ripped up any more than you want them to be ripped up. Okay, so all tangle free. There's 3 holes in the bottom of this cup. These are the 3 sets of roots coming out each hole. So now when we go to take it out of the cup, same thing. Give it a press on the bottom here. Loosen it up a little. And look at that. Not a single root stuck. All the roots came through the holes. So if you're a little root bound, take the time, wet them down, loosen them up. They'll come out. And now we can plant him. But first, we're actually going to plant this pepper. Banana peppers. A little bit of roots coming out the bottom. Not enough that it's tangled, so we don't need to wet it down or anything. Just gonna take these bad boys, press them on the bottom, pop them right out. Now again, here I am with 3 in a cup. Peppers, like tomatoes, will root along their stem. I don't know if you can see, not on this one, probably not. Maybe on this one. These stems have little white bumps on them. That is roots trying to pop out, looking for more nutrition probably, because there's 4 of them in this cup and they're sad about it. All right, we got to separate these peppers. We're going to dunk them. Now I'm not going to lie, these peppers are more root bound than the tomato I planted. They might take a little extra love to get separated. Alright guys, let's plant something from seed. This is my muncher cucumber. It's going to be the only cucumber I'm planting. Now, one cucumber plant needs 1 square foot of space, which would mean I only need 1 of these to sprout. We're going to play the odds. I'm going to plant probably 4, and we're going to keep the healthiest, strongest 1. Cucumber seeds are not that big. If you eat cucumbers, you've seen the seeds because they run right through the middle of it. So, little cucumber seeds. There's 3. Let's grab a 4th one here. Okay. Now, especially if you have old seeds, germination rate tends to dip a little the older seeds get. So if you found a packet of seeds, you don't know how old they are, the more you plant, probably the better odds of germination you're going to have. My soil here is pre-moistened. You're supposed to plant seed. General rule of thumb is when you plant seeds, you're supposed to plant them twice as deep as however big they are. So a cucumber seed, let's call it, is 1/4 of an inch big, tall, 1/4 of an inch tall, 1/8 of an inch wide. So I'm going to plant it 1/2 an inch deep. It's 1/4 of an inch seed. I'm going to plant it 1/2 an inch deep. That's twice as deep as it is long. I'm going to space them out just a little bit. Now, if you're not good at knowing how big is 1/2 an inch, get a ruler, get a stick, get a pen, get a marker, mark it on your tool, and use that to make your hole. I am going to use this piece of bark. Now I've got this square foot corner here for my cucumber seeds, so we're just going to dig a little hole here, take a seed, and drop it in the hole. Dig a little hole here, take a seed, drop it in the hole. One, 2, 3, 4, and boom, done. Alright, we'll cover them a little bit with the soil. Sprinkle, sprinkle, cover, cover. That's a piece of wood. There we go. Let's get that nice and... Okay, and where's my sprayer? When you water this in, you have to be careful. You don't want your seeds floating around, dislodging from their freshly planted new home. So we're going to pat it down a little, make sure nobody goes swimming anywhere. Brush that dirt out the way. And that's it. They're planted. I am going to put markers in the bed, even though I have my map, so I will know as a reference point where everything is. Especially if my toddler comes through and pulls all the markers out, that's going to be coming in very handy. Alright guys, thanks for planting my garden with me today. I hope to see you next time. And remember, if you aim to thrive, at the very least, you'll survive.